I'm Scott Fisk. I am the founder and CCO, Chief Creative Officer of iAiAM, IA, the independent artist. What you're watching here are some of our recorded live events. We go live every single week. We are artist for artist, artist to artist, completely unscripted. If you'd like to know more about what we're doing, or if you'd like to sit in on one of the lives and who knows, maybe be interviewed yourself, then tap the link that's in our description. We'll see you inside. Tonight we have a part 2 deep dive with Rhatia Murphy out of Sarasota, Florida. A part 2 a deep dive is because sometimes, you just can't get enough in the very first interview. And that's what part 2s are for. It's been a little while, and here she is. It's been a little while since our first one, but I'm going to let Rhatia line up and speak to us about a new gig where she is, you're a host. Yeah. So, hey.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi. No, that's all right. We're unscripted. We're real. We're just getting right after it. I am fine. And I'm just really thrilled that you're here. I've been tracking you. I mean, I track everybody, as best that I can on Instagram. And you've really been blowing it up. You've been blowing it up.
I've been trying my hardest and bestest.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
I'm really excited for everything ahead. I'll just say that.
I think that's really remarkable. But I mean, hey, I know that when we talked the first time, it was, you get to that spot where you've had real world application, and now you're back to school, and there's that saying like, you don't learn how to swim by reading about it. You've already done some swimming, but now you're taking everything that you've learned and you're pivoting. So what's been going on? Just unpack a little bit of what's been happening since our spitball session. What's been going on?
Oh gosh, a lot has been happening. School is great. I'm still going to Ringling. I'm no longer full-time. That has changed because I am working now, and that's a wonderful thing. Job is a wonderful thing. So, but my new gig is very exciting. I'm working for a local radio station. Which is really great because before I got accepted to Ringling, I had graduated from broadcast TV and radio school. So I was looking for a job in broadcast, and it's really hard to break into. But I did hook up finally to a local station called WSLR, and I have just finished my training for them. So I am now one of their reporters, and I'm so happy about that gig. I could hardly stand it. It's fantastic. It's writing. It's being on screen for everything that ends up online, and also being on air. So I read the news for them. I write the news for them. I'm part of the team, and I absolutely love it. It's really exciting to actually be part of broadcast radio now.
I got to tell you, like touching on that, I remember your post where and your daughter was in the little reel, and it was I mean, as a parent to parent, I could feel your flipping energy. It was like high octane. You're like, honey, look, and she's kind of like, okay, mom. Okay. No, you don't get it. Like, look, like you know exactly which one I'm talking about, and that was like epic. And I was like, yes, I know exactly, because I remember a long time ago. I've got my oldest; he's all grown up, but back when magazines were still a thing. And I was traveling. I'm an automotive illustrator, so I was traveling a lot of automotive shows. So if you're already there at an event selling your wares with your pop-up booth, why not be covering the event and writing too? And here's a guy that failed out of English. But it's easy to write about something you love. And I remember sending an email to a magazine that was already having my artwork in it. And I said, what would you think about? And I'll never forget when they said yes. And my son comes walking into the room. He's like 9, and I'm like waterfalling. Like someone give me a chance to be like a writing roving, and so I felt that particular trigger when I saw your thing happen, and I'm like, so thank you for the awesome trigger. I love it.
Yeah, it was pretty surreal to finally hear myself on the radio. It's was pretty amazing. And all I did was read a few headlines, but that was just kind of the start of the start of this career for me. So I'm like, it's just a fantastic thing. It's a
So
fantastic.
how does that work for you? Because you're still going to school now. Now you're not doing the school full time. That doesn't mean that you've punted anything. It just means you're stretching it out longer because, well, you have to like spread out because you're doing real world stuff at the same time.
Yeah, and I prefer it that way.
Yeah.
Going to school full time, Ringling is a tough school. It's an excellent school, but it's tough. There was really no way in heck. I'll keep it clean. There's no way in heck that I could possibly go to school full time, work full time, especially in a new career I'm just getting started in, and be a mom. So I had to make some changes, and I decided to, stretch out school for a little bit longer because this was so worth it. And I'm a mom as well, and I don't really care when I graduate. And I do love school so much. I kind of want to stretch it out, just
Yeah.
because I do enjoy it. I do really enjoy it. So it doesn't matter to me. I start going headlong into the sound arts. Now is where I've pivoted. Started out motion design and then film. Now I'm going to visual studies and sound arts. And yeah, I couldn't be happier with my decision. But it did take a little kind of like rethinking. Hey, how am I going to do all of this? Because this all takes time. It takes bandwidth. So I'm happy with the decision I made. It's worth it. It's definitely worth it.
Well, obviously it's worth it because you're wearing that smile straight from ear to ear. You're not like that's not like an I don't know smile. That's an all in smile, and that's awesome. And that's really so. How did that happen upon you? How did this latest thing open up for you? Was it an ad? Was it, hey, somebody whispering to you and saying, hey, I think you need to go check this thing out? Or did you just like kind of go and introduce yourself and, hey, if the opportunity ever comes up, put me on speed dial and reach out to me? Or
Well, I actually got it through school. They showed up to one of our career days. It was a very busy career day, and I always go to the career days at my school. You never know what's going to come out of it. And the radio station was actually there, and they were playing music. And I thought that they were just there to sort of play music for this big day that all the students and all the people that were there recruiting and kids looking at internships and handing their resumes over. I thought that they were just there to play music, but lo and behold, they announced, hey, we're also looking for people. And I said, oh my god, this is my shot. So I talked to them, and I was pretty much right in there. I had my resume with me. I didn't have a resume for or a portfolio for my broadcast work because I didn't think that anyone would be there that would want that, from Ringling, because it's a visual design school. So I actually very quickly went home and did a portfolio just for that, and then literally walked into their office. Let me turn the light back on. Then literally walked into their office the next day for a tour and to talk to the news director, and just like that, I was working for them. So I did meet.
did they have many candidates that show up, or you were just like, here I go?
Sure. Well, they're always bringing in volunteer reporters. It's a community radio station. They do local news, and they cover the local music scene, the local performing arts scene. They're very hyper local, and they're always bringing in volunteers. They're always hoping and wishing and praying for volunteers. So I volunteered there first, and then I went into their official training for reporting. As soon as I finished that last week, I was brought in onto the news team. So I love it. I love it. It was very exciting, and it was very whirlwind, and they're very happy to have someone like me because radio is, of course, what they refer to now as legacy media. Everyone's trying to move into new media. They're trying to get online. And I already have those skills because I'm coming from the online world to get into broadcast radio and legacy media. And the world of social media and legacy media is blending very, very fast now. And it's hard for legacy media to keep up. There's just a way that legacy media works, whether it's TV or or radio, where everything is moving online now. So everything that was radio is now sort of like trying to cut through a world of podcasting. And so they're looking for people exactly with my skill set. And they're having to do it across the entire media world. Everything has to kind of move online. And there's only so many people to do it, so they're constantly hungry for people like me.
I
And
think that's really well. Just to that point, what's really exciting is you're kind of like not even a triple threat. You're like a quadruple threat, because not only could you be in front, you could be like, no, we got to have the camera angle this way. We got to frame the shot this way. And this is how we blend in. And this is how we blend. So you can be the hub with a whole bunch of spokes. So with a small network station like that, you can cross chain across a lot of the little departments in there. Like you can be like, give me that. I'll even edit it. Let's go.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I came in with like all of these skills. I mean, I have 20 to 30 years behind me of photography, videography, sound arts, and editing. I can do all the things, animating. It's and this is a perfect way to sort of like meld all of those skills together and make something happen. So I'm super happy with the direction that things are going.
Yeah, so I mean, it makes you feel full, like it's checking off all the little creative boxes, and then when you are in class, are they like picking your brain, like, hey, what happened out there, and what's it like in this world?
Pretty much, yeah. Because content creating is a thing now. So to sort of bring that into the world of legacy media, where it is FCC regulated, is a very different thing. I needed training for weeks, and just to get up to speed with the regulations. And to be honest, I'm happy to be a part of that world, because what content creation is now and what news media, is now for online has gone pretty crazy. It's gone pretty crazy. There's a lot of misinformation out there. There's a lot of conspiracy theories and things like that going around in the online world. There are checks and balances for legacy media for that. Everything from broadcast is FCC regulated, but there's absolutely no regulation online. It's the Wild West.
Because it's dropping faster than it can be checked.
Absolutely, absolutely, and it spreads like wildfire online. So I'm happy to sort of get back to the world of of ethics and fact checking, and hey, no curse words, and no promotion of like weird iffy items, and no constant selling of crypto, with everything. And it's and Bitcoin this and Bitcoin that. There's a lot of scams online that wouldn't fly in the legacy media world because there's some oversight. But things cannot be as fast. So there's advantages and disadvantages to both the worlds. And as they combine, those are issues that, anybody in media, whether it's social media or legacy media or anything in between, has to deal with. And we're all trying to find creative ways to get around it, to get people information and to entertain. So,
excuse me. I mean, I like the word legacy, and I grew up on radio stations, and different but not different. I mean, it kind of, for me, it checks off all the boxes. There's something really nice about just slowing down a little bit, right? I mean, I don't know if you remember making like mixtapes with your buddies, but there was no like stopping something and wait, like you had to wait for like the countdown to like make your mixtapes. I mean, I did. You'd be like all night long when you're like sad, like hit record and blah, 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 because the song was coming on. But there's something really nice about slowing down. In terms of slowing down, like I even think about, I had a conversation with another member in the community. He's a co-host on one of our series, and we talked about intentional curated mixers in terms of business building, relationship building. And it's not like business card speed dating. It's not that. It's about really keeping it exclusive, really being intentional with who's invited into the mix, and then having an agenda with how you get through this thing, because otherwise it just turns, like you said, into the Wild West, where everybody just, they're a commodity, not an
Yeah.
asset. It turns into a commodity, and that's what we see a lot of. So it's really nice with legacy music, just going back to you, is it's an asset more than a commodity. Like, there's something, I just think it's wonderful. Like, you want to sit down because you know there's a radio show coming on at a certain time maybe, and it's intentional.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, and I can't wait to have my own radio show too, which I'm going.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm actually doing. If it's approved, I'll be producing a show about sound arts,
oh my
especially
gosh.
for films, and gaming. So yeah, like look forward to that. There's a lot of exciting things coming up. There's also Future Now. That's coming up. Oh my goodness. Um, Future Now is a media conference that happens across the board for students, and I am actually a top 40 pick for it. So I just found out that I got that. That's a conference that goes on in New York the second week in June. So the first week of June,
Or like
myself,
New York, New York, New York, New
New
York, New
York,
York.
New York City. So I'm
All
one of
right.
their top 40 picks, which it's sort of like a mentoring event for people entering the media industry from college. So I got that opportunity through school as well. I applied for it, and I got picked as a top 40 applicant, which just means I get to sort of have my pick of the studios that I'd like to visit when I'm out in New York. So that's a great networking and mentorship event.
That's right.
And because legacy media especially is really hard to break into. So the lady that started it wanted to give at least students across the board in certain colleges the opportunity to go and get mentored on how to enter that industry, and to have their resumes looked at, have their portfolios looked at, and see if they can get internships and jobs that way. So it's a wonderful event, and I'm so glad to be chosen for that as well. That's pretty exciting. I've got a couple of months to prepare for that, and I'm kind of beside myself. Plus, I have some family in New York, so I get to visit my
Oh, that's
family.
awesome. That's awesome. Like when I asked where you were, New York, New York is 5 hours from me. And
Ah, yes.
if you said Albany, I'd be like, I think we need to do an IRL. But because Albany's only 3 hours, and then you're like, well, Scott, if you're going 3, what's another 2? You're gonna be busy. You're gonna be busy. You won't have time to like any of that stuff. But I mean, that's really great. And there's a lot of congrats in the comment section right now. And
Oh,
yeah,
hi. I'm in the comments now.
yeah, you
Hello.
gotta look over it. I mean, that's what we're doing here. Like when one person wins, everybody is like cheering section. I mean, that's what's really nice about a space. Like we're not here throwing shade, we're shining floodlights. And that makes it really, really special. Uh,
Oh, thank
so what is
you.
your daughter, mommy, put on the mom hat, what does your daughter think about mom, this adventure in New York and however it shakes out? What does she think?
She is waiting to hear what hotel we're going to be staying
How big
because
is-
she always wants to go traveling with me. I believe that she will be in summer camp at that point. She's spending the summer with her dad. She's super excited for me. She's super excited about all of this. And she's just like, Mom, like, this is like a real job, and I'm like, yes, this is a job. And you can do this too when you grow up. She's like,
Yeah,
oh, very, very cool. And I'm going
yeah.
to be announcing, is going to do a PSA for her school. They're doing, she is actually in a play. She's in a performing arts school. I don't know if you remember me telling you that before.
Yeah.
She'll be in Willy Wonka, which is coming up. She's in the 5th grade. And she actually got chosen to play Charlie Bucket in this play. So she is going
Oh,
to be
that's
the,
fantastic.
yeah.
That's
I'm
fantastic.
like, she's a really talented girl. And I'm like, oh my God, you got the lead. I say the lead. I know Willy Wonka is really the lead, but so is Charlie Bucket. He won the ticket. He won the golden ticket.
Yeah, he
He's
won
got,
the ticket. He won
yeah.
the ticket.
So
She's
she's
she's the
playing
same
Charlie
age.
Bucket.
She's the same age as my kids. I've got a boy 4th grade and a girl 6th grade. So yours would be right in the middle. Your little person. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's really that's awesome. To celebrate her having this opportunity. My daughter, she's a creative, and she'll be like, will I be able to do this when I grow up?" And I'm like, I'm not sure, but why not? But even if you weren't able to do it as a full-time vocation, remember to hold on to it, because there are a lot of grown-ups that don't have this spot to go to, that, it's a healthy outlet.
Yes,
No matter
yes.
what, it's a win.
Good to know. Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I want.
because
Even if you don't want to do this professionally, you simply don't have to, but you should always have a way to express yourself and
that's
for your
right.
creative self to come through. Because, if you don't, I don't know, it's just it's a really frustrating life when you take your creative abilities and sort of, downplay them or don't give them enough attention. It seeps out in very, very weird ways. I think creative people have to be creative. They
Yeah,
have to be creative. They have to have an outlet for that. If
yeah,
you don't, it's just gonna gnaw away at you. It's gonna come out in like other ways,
yeah.
unintentional ways. And you don't want that. You don't want that for your life. You always want to be able to express yourself through your art. And
That's right.
it's always changing for me. If anyone had told me that I'd be into the sound arts by now at this point in my life, I'm like, really? But it's so much fun. It's so much fun.
I
So
think it's
just
just
really cool
the
to play it.
ability, the willingness to just stretch yourself, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Someone's walking by your sound studio. It's like, no, I'm talking
Yeah.
on how to,
The kids that live in my building, she's like, there's someone in there.
yeah,
Like,
it's
yeah.
actually being used for its intended purpose. Yeah. It's not a booth where you just go in and scream at the top of your lungs like a sound chamber. No, that's really exciting.
That's
Because with
exciting.
creativity,
Also,
but
another thing, and this has nothing to do with creativity, I guess, although it does for me. She is now a diver. My girl is now a diver. I put her for spring break. I put her in diver training, at a diver training camp. So she now has her open water certification. So now I have a dive buddy. I have a kid dive buddy. I put
yeah,
her and a little friend of hers through diving camp. You can get it here in Florida. You can get your diving certification at 10. I think it's different ages for different states, but you can be as young as 10 here and get your diving certification. So I had her do it, and now she's a certified PADI diver. Um,
she's
so so this summer will be pretty like amazing. We're gonna do some diving trips around Florida, and that's gonna be really cool.
well. Now let me ask you that. Like getting able to do this, because prior to your radio station job that you have right now, you were traveling quite a bit and documenting it with your little film shorts. Are you still going? Is that going to be taking a hiatus, or are you going to be figuring out how to do that more local? Like, what does that look like?
Well, the traveling, of course, with school and with work now, I'm not going to be traveling as much. So I'm not putting that on hiatus. It's just sort of being roped into the Caligal Media brand.
It's just going to
So
look different. It's just going
just
to. It's still there. It's just going to.
yeah, like I'll still be traveling. I can't travel nearly as much as I did before, but that's okay. There's great reasons to stay put now and really focus on becoming a reporter. And, but I'll still be traveling around Florida. I'll still be traveling whenever I need to. I'll be covering my trip out to New York. I hope to be doing some traveling down to Mexico as well to get some diving in. And certainly there's like Florida is the state to dive in. So I'll be definitely traveling around here and doing some local dives with my girl, because we've got the springs, we've got the ocean, we've got, some lakes. This is a wonderful place to dive. So,
Yeah,
Cali Gal Travels has now turned into Cali Gal Media. And
I saw that.
for and so I changed my branding just a little bit, and I'll be sort of covering more of the cooler media stories that I can't cover for WSLR. I'll be covering for my own brand.
That's
So
awesome.
it's
And you're
cool to
building
have.
in your portfolio building the entire time. And what's really cool is, even though you're doing something now, whereas you said earlier, like, I won't be able to travel as much, you're still not skipping a beat. You're just doing a little pivot. And that's really important. And those are lessons that I'm sure you already know this anyway, but as a parent, you're showing your daughter the willingness to be flexible, the willingness to adapt. And it's okay to be a little nervous. It's okay to be excited. It's all right to understand maybe there's a little fear involved, but it's also incredibly liberating to just be like, because you can look in that mirror and you can say that to that person in the mirror, we got this, we can go, we can do this.
Yes, yes. This has been I'd say the last year has been one big old pivot. So I've really had to be flexible, but that's really me anyway. When it's time to make a shift, it's time to make a shift. And if the opportunity is good, I'm always going to go for it. I don't see why you wouldn't. I mean, fear is fear. I'm not going to say I'm not scared of any of this because, oh my gosh, this is all pretty nerve-wracking, but it's also incredibly exciting. So I'm just entering a period where it's just like go time. And, I'm certainly ready to hit the ground running. I've been ready for this for quite a while. So
I love how, you mentioned it like as legacy, and like when I was talking earlier about, it's not like business card speed dating. It's about slowing down and being very intentional. And even like to speak about this community, if you were to tell me a year and a half ago or 2 years ago, it's already a year and a half old, that this was going to happen, I would have told you were flipping nuts. There's no way I've got time to do this thing and do this thing and do this thing. We're doing this thing. And it's one of those things like, and it's not going to stop because there's actually already been some pretty incredible, wonderful things that have happened in such a short amount of time. And those things wouldn't have presented themselves had this not been breathing. And like what we're doing right now. And even like this year, I built a media kit and I shared that with you. I believe I shared that with you, but it's about being intentional and doing intentional, warm outreach, kind of like when you were at your job fair. Intentional. We're there intentionally. We know why we're here, and we wanna know you, right?
I am in an interview. Sorry, my daughter is being a total goofball. Sorry, she wanted to see me in an interview. I'm like, look,
no, that's fine. That's fine. As long as she doesn't like put her nose up against the glass and start blowing.
No, she's trying to make me laugh.
No, that's good. I just marked that the timestamp down 26 minutes in, so that way I can make sure I make that a highlight in the reel. Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah, but it's about being really intentional because when you're out in the open networks, you're with your megaphone on your soapbox and you're one of millions. But when you're at that job fair or when I'm doing warm outreach, getting into inbox, it's not just about just spray and pray. It's about doing your research on the person and making sure you drop in a PS as to why you think they're X, Y, or Z. And so that way they know you really took the time, because what you're doing or what I'm doing, it's relationship building. You're there at that radio station to play the long game or to give it your best, because not just for them, but you deserve your best.
Oh, that's a really great way to put it, and that really is the way to look at it. Like you're there to build, learn, hopefully have a fantastic time while you're learning. And I really am having a fantastic time. This is a great time. This is a great time in my life. Like I turned 40 last week.
I know.
I turned 39 last week and I'm just like, dude, so much stuff is happening right now. I thought it'd be kind of over by now.
No.
I thought this would be over. I thought 49, I'm almost 50, it's time to slow down and do. It's like, no, I'm just getting started with like a whole bunch of exciting stuff. So I'm just like, dude, like the 50s are going to be like a blast. Like
they are now because I'm already in. And I love it. But it's one of those things that and I love that you see that and you're so hungry for more, because we've had a heartbeat long enough on this planet that we both have probably been in spots where we're like, this is definitely where I don't want to be. And hopefully you get a good enough taste of that in your mouth, because we know what's waiting for us. Complacency is the enemy. Always be chasing, always be excited, always know what's right for you and listen to what's here. We have to be logical because we're parents too. There's a balance, but I mean, I've had stuff that has really been just draining on your soul, and there's no way I could spend another minute doing something like that. So for you to sit here and say, yeah, it's because you also got something maybe to have compared it to where it was yucky stuff,
Yeah. The yucky stuff is yucky, but it's nice. Like I spent a good bit of my life like not knowing exactly what to do. It feels great to be at this point where it's like, oh no, like I'm doing the thing that I was meant to do. Like this is great. This is the lane to be in.
Yeah,
So I'm like, yes, yes. I'm like absolutely enjoying this. Absolutely enjoying this.
that's really awesome. So, um, what is a what does a day look like in Ratia's world? What is it like to say, okay, I've got to write this thing, I've got to polish up this interview, and I got to fit in school, and I got to be a mom. And so, what is a day? How does a day unpack for you? Do you have Mondays are a Monday and Tuesday or a Tuesday, or is stuff kind of shuffle and blend?
I am pretty disorganized right now. I'm just going to be real about that. Pretty disorganized because there's just so much coming at me all at once. But let's say on a Monday I've got class, so I wake up early, get the class on time. That's about 3 hours. That's a studio class at Ringling. Then I get out, and I'll probably want to start hit the ground running with either homework or whatever assignment I've got for WSLR. So I'll check my emails. I'll check in with him. Right now, like as a reporter, you spend a lot of your time chasing down leads and
Yeah.
chasing down people to talk to you. And if there's anything I found out in the few weeks that I've been a reporter, it's that once you've got the badge and you're officially working for a legit place, no one wants to talk to you, or people are like running away. They're like, is this on the record or off the record? And I'm running into like a lot of like, well, talk to our communications department before I can say anything. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is this is a challenge. But it's been great to hunt down those leads and get them and get the sound bites you need and get the information that you need to get from who you need to get it from. But it's a lot of just writing, scripting, recording, and then a whole lot of hurry up and wait so that you can get the information you need from the people you need it from.
Yeah.
Learning how to look up public records and learning a whole lot more about ethics and what you can report, what you need to wait and do your research and get a second or third word on before you report it, because you just cannot let misinformation get out there.
No, because otherwise, then what is that? What is that when that happens? A retraction.
Yes, yes, and and you don't want that. You don't want that. So
No. So
there's just a whole lot.
I was I was just gonna say that your radio station, maybe it's already got a really good track record, and we're known for this, this, and this because we are.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. We're one of the last bastions of like local news. Local news is kind of disappearing everywhere. So we really pride ourselves on being one of the few places in this region to provide local news to the people that need it in their communities. So it's been a wild time, sort of like learning the way around politics and covering the art scene. I'll actually be going to
Ooh, the art scene.
the Sarasota. I'll be going to the Sarasota Art Film Festival, which starts tomorrow and goes on until April 19th. So I'll be talking to the people that run that event, as well as the filmmakers and actors and the people that are responsible for getting their films in there. So that's going to be a nice red carpet event, and it's just Sarasota loves its arts. It loves its art scene. It loves its performing art scene. It loves its movie scene
Yeah.
and its film scene. And so it's really a privilege to be able to go and cover the event for WSLR. So
Yeah, but I mean, you're covering it, but you're also a creative yourself. It's like you're not just somebody walking around with a microphone. Like that's your love language. So when you're in there, and I mean, that's just like a double whammy. Awesome
it
stuff.
is. No, it is really awesome. It's really awesome, especially as I am a film major. I'll be
Yeah.
switching studies, but for now I'm a film major, and I do have a lot of respect for the craft, and I can't wait to meet some of the people that have done some great films and gotten it into the festival. So
Yeah.
get to take
Yeah.
my kiddos to some of those movies as well.
Yeah, that's a pretty large life, for her, that's got to be so exciting. When my oldest he's 27 now, but when he was in fifth grade, he had a media badge. And he was actually, I wrote, I told you how I cried because I got like, an editor said, or whatever in the magazine said, yes, we would love to have you write for us. And then I had my cry moment. But after that, I was writing for 5 different titles, and that was really nice. You would still cover it for the same 5 different magazines, same event, but 5 different magazines, 5 different styles, 5 different audiences. So you just wordsmith it. But he had a little media badge, and he had my nice Nikon digital camera. And at events when he was with me, because I was co-parenting with his mother, but he would be shooting for me. So in fifth grade, he was in print, and that was really neat. They're fun stories to talk about now, and he's still a creative to this day. But like your daughter having this seat in this spot, she's going to be meeting really incredible people on this journey with you.
That is awesome, man. I didn't think about that. She could be shooting for me. This could be a thing. She needs a
Good.
job. Girl needs to pull the weight. So.
Or just have her shadowing, just have her shadowing. I remember with my kid, events can be expensive, food is expensive, and I would always give him the opportunity. I'm like, listen, you can brown bag the night before, all the food in the fridge is free. You do ownership, and you pack your lunch and you get it ready and you bring it with you. I'll still give you, I don't remember what it was, like I'll give you $10. That was a big deal. But you can blow it on a $10 hamburger at the event, or you can keep that and use it for another time. But if you make your food and bring it all with you, you know what I mean? So it's like a way to teach him how to like navigate and budget something. Made him feel grown up.
Man, these are good ideas. I love when you give me like parents advice.
Oh,
I absolutely love it. Like, look, we're all looking for ways to get the kids more engaged, get them off the iPad. Oh my God, that iPad. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no. I totally tell you tell her, you like bring a camera. Why? I want you to try to get a couple different angle shots, and I'd like to see what you come up with after. Really, Mom? Yeah, really. Yeah, okay, I'll do it. And you still have your people that are doing their thing, but having her just shoot some extra stuff, it might be kind of neat. And then she'll be like, and then all of a sudden she'll be like, how come my name's not in the credits?
She's gonna demand that her name is in the credits. Like,
so good,
like,
so good.
We'll work it out. I'll ask my boss.
Yeah, bring a kid to work day. So good. When we instill that ownership and agency, my daughter, this is like an 18+ community, but I did tell her that when she's 16, I'll let her join. And and she's like, really? And I said, yeah, really. I want her to be reconnected. I want her to be connected too. I think that it'd be really exciting for her. And that's what's nice even about when we get to that spot being like multi-generational in here. I think that that's really nice because you can have somebody that's fresh and green meeting somebody that's fully vetted and is seasoned, and you can come alongside of them. And those are really win opportunities, Yeah. Yeah. And Dan, we've got someone over here, post footage in here when you're able, like get some stuff in here.
I will. I've tried to get it into the thing before. I know videos are a little bit weird to get into the community.
You put a link in here. You put a link in, you put a screenshot of the thing, drop the link, and then it's just like touch it, and it just takes us out there. Like we have a YouTube channel here now. So
Awesome.
Finally, fine, and it's starting. And I have a couple people in here that are working it with me. 2 Dans, Daniel and Dan, and one. Yeah, there's a lot of Dans in here, but one of them got it started up, and he front loaded it, and then the other Dan, who's in the comments right now, he's in the series with me, so he's been editing this particular series. But I'm also like what you were, I'm also what I was saying to you, that I think that it's really awesome when we're cross-trained. And I have no problem now with this new software that I got, that I can slice and dice content myself, and I kind of enjoy it, and load it up to that channel and have bites in here to put in other spots, as well as right here inside of our community. But yeah.
Nice. Oh, congratulations with getting things started on YouTube. That's to be. That's the place to
Pretty
be.
neat. Yours will be up there. It'll be up there.
I actually have a YouTube channel. I have, I think, like less than 100 subscribers. Are we calling them subscribers? Subscribers, yeah.
Okay.
But I do most of my engaging on Instagram. But I'm on TikTok, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Threads, I'm on Facebook. So I try to have them all going. But of course, you can really only, as a one-person show, you can really only pay attention to like really one or two mediums at a time. So it ends up being.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with that. And that was, I'm glad that you said that, because, that's one of the reasons why these intentional communities they're not a fad. And I'll stand on my rock and say that they're not a fad. They're here to stay, because when you and I are here and all these other people are here, we know exactly why we're here. There's no algorithm. There's no impression count. We're networking our tails off. Networking happens in here all the time. And that's really nice, because you're not competing with a million other people. You're in here in this spot. And not just this community, there's other communities too, but it's about finding one that works with what you're doing. So having the YouTube channel is awesome, because I didn't know how to necessarily do that, but we're always one touch point away from somebody that does. Or I needed to know about lighting. I've got somebody that did a virtual stage setup for me, because they're in Maryland. They couldn't be up here and do this, but they do this, and they're in the community too, and help me get things better, because we're here to get better,
yes, and help each other.
Yeah, and I'm in a year, what are we going to be talking about with you? Because you'll be like, okay, so that was great, but now I'm doing this other thing too, and I've been to 35 red carpets since that first one. For Florida.
My goodness, things are moving at kind of like light speed. I'm trying to slow down and just concentrate on the things I want to concentrate on. Become a better and better reporter, host. And get some good diving in. That's my own thing. It's like I just want to do some more diving.
Yeah.
With my kid. I'm really looking forward to the summer. Of course, I will be off. I will not be taking classes during the summer, because Ringling's attendance policy is brutal, absolutely brutal. So, you don't want to be failing classes because you can't show up. And I'm lucky to be a reporter, because that is a very flexible thing. I'm on my own time.
That's right.
So,
that's right. And that's really important. It's you were talking about, it's been just kind of really mad dashing, and we got this. You can't see my side of my monitor, but it is riddled with Post-it notes, and I've got a whiteboard up there, because the whiteboard does me no good behind me. I have to have it up there heckling at me, the whiteboard, and I need some semblance. But what's that?
I need a whiteboard.
Really nice.
Very disorganized.
But my whiteboard actually is, the whiteboard never changes. The whiteboard, there's a particular thing that has to happen on a Monday, every single Monday. A certain thing that has to happen every single Tuesday. Every Wednesday is the newsletter that has to go out, because it's always out on a Wednesday. And those are the things. But the Post-it notes move around. I like to think of my whiteboard as the spine, and everything, the ribs and everything come off of that,
Yes.
But I'm just better with Post-it notes. That's just me. Post-it notes just are my jam, and the different colors mean different things, and I don't know.
So you're not a day planner guy?
No, I've got a week. I've got a dozen Post-it notes in front of me, all in chronological order. I don't walk around with a little day planner, because I would need 4 of them. because they'd be left in different spots.
See, I know people that are like totally into day planners. I'm like, I would leave it places.
Yeah.
I would leave it places. Why would I get a day planner?
Then I'd have to have a satchel bag, and then the satchel bag would get stuck on my chair, and then I would stand up and it would flip the chair, and I'm like, I'm not a satchel bag guy. But unless they had a Velcro shirt and the planner had Velcro and it would stick to you, like my kids would think that was great. They'd say, "There's Dad using his head." But no,
Yeah.
post-it note, whiteboard, that works.
Gosh. Well, I actually need, as a reporter, I need a field I need a backpack because, I do a lot of like field reporting and things like that. So I need a smaller camera because I'm running around with, I'm running around with a gigantic DSLR. I have I have the last mirrored camera that Canon produced called the 5D Mark IV. And the 5D Mark II was kind of like the game changer in the DSLR world as far as like 4K, like filmmaking, digital filmmaking. And I've got the Mark IV, and it's just a big honking thing that I sort of dusted off and brought out from my photography class, and now I also use it for work. And now I realize why journalists have the small cameras, because you're constantly having to carry around this camera, and you cannot carry around something this big. So yeah, I'm in the.
You work with like a gimbal? Do you use gimbals and things like that, or?
I just bought a gimbal for that, for the films that I'll be doing with that camera. But yeah, I do have a gimbal. I've got another gimbal for the phone, because you gotta have one for the phone.
The only reason why I know gimbal is because my son went to Emerson in Boston for film, and gimbal this, and I'm like, that's such a neat word, you'll never forget it. Like, and I see over here, no one system works for everyone. Most digital are too demanding. Yeah, end up serving the system. Yeah, use paper. But I mean, I have a 4K here, and I remember the first time I went from a 1080 to a 4K, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, you gotta.
Yeah, you can see all of the spots on your face.
Yeah, I mean, my chin looks like a disco ball. I might go back to 1080. Maybe I'll go to like a 700. Who knows?
I was just like, I can see all the blemishes on my face I've gotten since I was 13, and somehow they all just show up again in 4K. So.
Yeah, you gotta just work with what you got, and it's all good. But no, here I am. I got cool lights everywhere, and it works. But so let me ask you, if I can, let me ask you like what would be a story that you were working on? Because I'm kind of excited about this. I think this is pretty cool. Like, give me an example of a story that maybe already ran, because we can't talk about anything top secret, but
well, I will be covering, and this is kind of like standard entertainment news coverage, but I'll be covering the red carpet opening night for the Sarasota Film Festival tomorrow. So that's going to be pretty exciting.
Yeah, your outfit.
I do not have an outfit all picked out. I've got to go and get one now. I've got to go and get one now. But I'll be covering that event. So I'll be talking to like a couple of filmmakers about their film, and the organizers of the event about what we can look forward to this year. And that's kind of standard entertainment news stuff. My very first story I actually did was about traffic calming. Nothing to do with entertainment at all. It was about traffic calming measures in Sarasota, because it's a very hot thing here. It's a lot of people that have moved to the area, and there's been like a lot of accidents, a lot of problems with traffic. So they're pushing traffic calming measures across the city, and I covered that. I basically cover whatever my boss tells me.
You mean like calming, like keep calm and carry on, because like road rage, or?
Traffic calming would be like, things built into the road to like slow down traffic, to, to cobble up the streets, to change the speed limits on some of the streets, especially streets with children on it. They may have had higher speed limits before they did a study, which ran recently, saying that there were a lot more deaths when someone was hit buy a car at 30 miles per hour rather than 20 miles per hour. So they actually, across the board for a number of streets, changed the speed limit to 20 miles per hour because of that study. So, that's the kind of like local news stuff that, like sweeping changes are going to go across the city. So people need to know. And, a lot of local news is disappearing. So I'm happy to be like working for a place
Yeah.
that wants to get, the news out there to the people that need it, and that need it for their communities, not something happening in Florida at large, or the nation, but right there, like right here in the city of Sarasota, because
Yeah.
it's necessary.
Yeah. You're like boots on the ground, boots
Pretty
laced up,
much, pretty much.
front
And
line.
because I live here now, it's like I can actually live here and work here. These things affect me too. Whereas, for some of the legacy media like TV stations, people would not necessarily live in the city that they're working in. I know a lot of people that work in TV that, in Tampa, that live, outside of Tampa, like they can't afford to live in Tampa, so they, live in Dunedin or like Clearwater, and they're commuting, but they're doing like local news or trying to do local news. And it's, it doesn't, it doesn't really work, so I'm happy to live here and work here.
Yeah.
So it's great to be part of the team. It's great to be part of
So
the team.
have you had, because you're turning into a personality there, have you had anybody want a selfie with you yet?
Not yet, not yet. Haven't been doing this for long enough, but it's funny because you have to be in the community a lot more, sort of chasing down these leads, interviewing people, asking people, "Hey, what do you think about this new thing happening?" So you end up getting known. So I'm actually meeting a lot of people now. It's a little bit overwhelming. I don't think I've realized how shy I was until I really had to start putting myself out there. And
Well, see, now here we are. We're desensitizing you.
yes, yes. Well,
Yeah.
I'm getting more and more used to being on camera. Certainly getting used to people recognizing my voice now that I'm on like the radio and on the local radio. So, for right here in Sarasota, you
Yeah.
start getting known. So it's actually pretty exciting. And, I'm pretty recognizable with my blonde dreads and everything. So,
I love it.
so
No, so like you're gonna like not be in the mood, and you're gonna be like picking out like avocados in the produce aisle. You're gonna hear,
we're like, hey.
"Excuse me." That's not really her. It's not really her. "Excuse me, my friend thinks," and you're like, "Yes, it's me. Come here. We'll do a picture."
Well, when that starts happening, I will let you know.
Yeah.
It's really nice to start getting to know people in the community, and I'm getting introduced to people. Like I'm doing a story now on tourism in the area, so I'm getting to meet the people from SRQ, our local airport down here, and it's um, getting interviews with the communication director and the CEO and president of the SRQ airport. And it's really great to network and get to know these people and have access to these people.
Yeah. Yeah, because you might end up, I mean, you never know. Sometimes it might not necessarily be a big story. Sometimes it might be a human interest story. And you'll be like, just by conversing with somebody, you'd be like, that'd be a really great human interest thing. Like if those things even happen. If you guys even do that stuff? I don't know.
Gosh, well, a lot of it. I'm going to cover another story here on the water conservation efforts of this area. That's a hot topic. We're trying to keep our waters clean. We've got the problem with the red tide, especially on this side of the state. It doesn't really happen so much on the east coast of Florida, but here on the west coast, it happens, quite a lot. And we're starting to get down to the nick on why that is happening. You know,
Got it.
we really have to protect our waters here.
Mhm.
And as a diver, I'm even closer to that. So I want our waters to be protected. I want the life inside those waters to be protected. I want our
That's right.
manatees. I want, there's a lot to do. There's a lot to cover here. Also, the politics here. I'm not going to say that I'm really into politics, but of course, we're all being pulled into politics now. There's so much going on. So much going on. in the world, but hyper locally, this is a pretty conservative area. So our schools are going through things. Our local politicians they're doing things. We have to cover it all. So
Yeah.
I'm a
That's
lot.
and with your legacy, with your station, you have to be there for everything. I think about I don't know if you ever watched like old Walter Cronkite stuff. Like I was a baby. I don't even know if I was even if he was even around when I was, but I remember like he would end it with something like, "And that's America as we see it," or something or other. I don't. But it was almost like you had to just be stoic no matter what it was. It was like, yeah,
Right. Yeah. That's going to be a challenge for me. I think that's a challenge for anyone just getting into this industry to tell the news in a non-biased way.
yeah,
Um, and so I'm learning. I'm learning to just bring people the information that they need, um, and of course I have an opinion, like anyone has an opinion, but people deserve to get this news without yourself interjected into it. They deserve to
sure.
know the truth and facts.
Yeah.
Um, so
I remember that was something when we built this space. It was kind of like I needed to create a space that felt safe for everybody that was here, because when we could pay attention to the 99% that we had in common versus, because out in the open networks, anything can land in your feed or anything can land in your comments. And I wanted to be in a spot where we could get back to when we were kids and we opened our wings and we flew and we were creative, and there's something magical about that. And I also feel like creatives are so porous that we can absorb and it can affect everything we're trying to, right? And so this space is so important for nurturing, and I love that. And I just here's back to you. What I appreciate is, yes, we have a vocation, and when you're out on some of these channels, you're your headline and you're your follower count and you're this latest thing. But here we get to go a little deep. We get to talk about you being a mom. We get to talk about what it's like exploring this brand new chapter. You can never unpack that out there. It would have to be like, make sure I write it well, make sure that it's spaced in a certain way so it can captivate this perfect stranger and hope they like it. Like, we're not doing any of that. And that's what I think makes what we're doing really special. There, I just went on a rant.
Yeah. No, thank you for creating this community, because it is quite wild out there, and it can, be discouraging sometimes going
Then you couldn't
after.
have gotten away. You wouldn't be able to get away. And we want to be able to get away. And when, like you go back up in those comments and when you said about this thing that happened for you, all of a sudden it just freaking blew up. Again, we're not throwing shade in here. And it's like, I remember the last time, and, it didn't necessarily come to fruition, but it could with just a little push. The last time you were in here, I remember John was like, "Hey, we have this kayak." And then Jim was like, "Hey, we have this compressor that would blow." And I'm thinking of you like this content creator, and you could be like working for two brands doing this one thing. And like it turned in. So if that kind of a thing plays out, that's great. But it's about, that's what's wonderful here is we really do want to help each other. And it's exciting.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
I like being a part of a community where we are free to help out each other. And
Yeah.
you know um we all need to go into what I'm trying to find the words. We all need to help each other get to our destination.
Sure.
Sometimes it's better to get there together than trying to go at it alone. There we go.
Yeah.
Those are what I wanted to say.
No, that's really awesome, and it's true. And the bigger as this grows, it's not about growing big; it's about growing kind. And when you put that out, those are the people that show up. Like I've got a couple of people in the community, and because we're doing this whole +1 thing, in terms of, I didn't even think to reach out to you again. It's not on my post-it notes, but we've had other lives where everybody's got that one person that they know would get something out of what we're building. We also know a person that if they were here, they would suck all the air out of the room. We don't want that person. We want the other person that would really want to be a spoke in building this. And what's really wonderful is we're celebrating creativity as a whole. So like you're at Ringling and you're learning this vocation, or you're working, in these certain courses, but you're also doing the radio and the television now. And then that's a branch of creativity. But it's really awesome for me to listen to you and be exposed to what you're doing. And everybody gets something out of that, right?
Exactly. Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Oh, I am. They are. Those comments are. Yeah. I mean, and that's what makes it really wonderful. Like when you put out the servant hearts are the ones that show up. And if those people aren't inside of here, well, they're like, but I know somebody. So it's just one touch point away.
Right.
It's like old networking,
Wow. Well, I'm happy to be. I know when I finally got the gig, I had some old classmates of mine, especially from the radio and TV broadcast school, say like, or at least I had like one in particular say like, I'm really inspired by what you did. Like it's teaching me that I shouldn't let age hold me back. And I'm like, oh yeah, like don't let it hold you back at all. This is the time. This is the time to do what you want to do. Like
Yeah, it's
for some of
about
us it comes later. I'm not trying to compete with the 20 somethings. The 20
no,
somethings,
no.
20s.
But it's about living your best life. I use the word urgency, and some people misunderstand when I say living life with urgency. Not that I might die tomorrow, but what I want is I want to live it for the gift that it is. I've got today. Yesterday's vapor. Tomorrow's not promised. And I really want to do my best to live as close to my authentic center as possible. So that to me, that's kind of urgent. And because, I don't ever want to look back. You never look back and say, I wish I bought that fancier house, or I wish I did this. You're like, I wish I took that chance. And what was I afraid of? And it would have been work. I don't ever want that to come out of my mouth. I want it to be like, yeah, I did that, struck out, but I learned something in striking out, and I choked up the bat better, and I cracked it out of the park the next time.
Good Lord, fear can stop you from doing a whole lot. I definitely have FOMO. Definitely have FOMO, the fear of missing out. I mean, to me, if I didn't go for all the stuff I'm going for now, if I weren't doing what I'm doing now, I would always have that gnawing feeling of like, but what if I just went for it? I think for years I was preoccupied with other things. And then I don't want to get too personal, but I was lied to. I was lied to. And when I found out that I was lied to, I sort of went, oh, my body, my nervous system knew I was kind of being lied to. Like I sort of knew. It allowed me to see all of the other lies. And one of the other lies was that I couldn't maybe do this. Maybe, maybe I wasn't meant for it, or my time had already passed, my window of, had passed, the age thing. I sort of saw that for what it was. And I was like, no, that's a lie. I can absolutely do this now, and I'm going to do this now.
Yeah.
And it's kicked off an entire year or two. Now it's been going on 2 years of me going for exactly this, and now things are starting to really pick up and get traction. And it was like, yeah, this could have been a long time ago. This could have been me a long time ago, but I kind of believed a lie.
But and okay, sure, but it doesn't matter, because here you are right now and you're doing it, and that's what matters. It's like, I wish I knew then what I know now. Yeah, everybody says that. But what's really rad is well, you're doing it right now. And when we talk about lies, I don't know, again, not about getting personal, but I'll speak to my own truth. There are times where people are afraid you're going to outgrow them, because they have a ceiling of expectation for you. And if you're hungry enough, you take that ceiling of expectation and you make it the floor. Or you're in a room where you want to be in rooms where you want you want to have people that are in rooms that you're not even in talking good things about you, not people that are over in the corner going pss, 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 pss. You want people to you want to be with people that are already where you want to get to, and they're like, come here, come on in, let me open the door for you. Those are the people. But yeah, I had my, when you said that, very relatable. You know, I can say my 20s, in my 20s I had a lot of that, you know. But and you end up not doing the things necessarily to prove them wrong. You do these things to prove you right.
Yeah. No,
And
no,
not like, I told you so. It's like, I told you so.
yeah, it definitely ends up being that way for me now, where it's just like, what a wonderful thing to prove to myself that I could do this by
Yeah.
actually just going ahead and doing it. And really, it is very honestly, you just put one foot in front of the other. You will eventually make it to your destination, but you cannot
Right.
stop and turn around and go like, this isn't worth it. You know, you
No.
must, you must keep going.
Mm-hmm.
But you do have to have the hunger, you know, and then you can't do it alone. You know, you need help. You need partners. You need people that inspire you. You inspire others. You guys are getting somewhere together.
Yeah.
Um, so it's wonderful to sort of let people into my life now, where it's like, hey, you know, you're into this. Wow, I'm into this too, and then you get
Mhm.
somewhere together. And it is really, really wonderful to be able to show this to my daughter as well. That's a big motivator
That.
for me. It's a big motivator for me.
Mhm. It is. It is. It is. Yeah. My kids are not here right now. They're at their mom's. And tonight is this is the 61st live event.
Wow.
61. 61. And
Congratulations.
yeah, right. But you know, one day maybe it'll be 601, whatever. This is 61. No, congratulations to us. Congratulations to everybody that shows up and sees this thing that I needed, and I thought maybe other people need it too. And here we are. And that's really cool, you know. And your daughter, yeah, absolutely. She needs to see mom doing this. She needs to say, you were in that booth a long time. You're like, yeah, I was being interviewed by a guy in Vermont. And there was a person from Massachusetts, and there was a person from California, and there was a whole bunch of other people. Like, but yeah, it's just, this is the world, man, and we're living up to it.
Yeah, I'm very happy for her. As she's in performing arts school, and she's really sort of getting privy to that world and starting to find herself in that world. And it's wonderful to see her grow up and understand that she can do it by doing it. It's you know, it's a lot for kids to, you know, come out of their shell. You know,
Yeah.
especially at this point. You know, she's a little tween. She's a tween, and it's yeah. That's a certain point in time. God,
She's yeah, she's 12. She's my winter solstice girl. Her birthday is December 21st. And here we are in April. She's grown an inch since then. I got a measuring stick, and I'm like, what? I'm like, take your Converse All Stars off, because she likes wearing Converse All Stars. She goes, they are off. But yeah, I mean, it's like, holy moly. Yeah.
yeah, the growth spurting is crazy. So yeah, but no, I'm very happy to show her. It's like, hey, look, just put one foot in front of the other, and you know, have fun. You know, understand, you know, what it's like. You know, when you're being driven by something within you, and that you're obligated to, like, you know, you're obligated to follow that path, to at least check it out. You know, if you don't
Yeah,
like it, you can always just stop, but don't not go for it. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't do it either, because
that's
that's
right.
just, you know, go and do, like, one foot in front of the other. Go, there's always people to learn from. There's always ways to learn the thing that you would like to do. Go do it and just do your absolute very best. You will feel so good. You will live such a good
Yeah.
life just knowing how to do that.
And make yourself, here's the, this, if this is one thing I could share, not like parent tip or anything like that, but that younger generation, and I've even used this in some of my posts. Everything is a highlight reel, shiny, sparkly, lipstick, glitter. And And there can also, with that can come a fear of failure because people are only showing their good part, right? So show me the real. Life is a pencil with an eraser on the end of it. It's not written in pen. You know, you got to erase this stuff. And I share that with my kids a lot. You know, if the willingness to fail, the willingness to be trainable, the willingness to say, I don't know, the willingness to say, I'll try harder, the willingness to say, I'm sorry, you know, and thank you. And really, you know, like all that good stuff. I think that you're showing that to your daughter, you know, and it's good stuff.
Well, I'll say anything I post, that's the highlight, and there's been a lot of downtimes. This has been a lot of downtimes in the past couple of years. I mean, if there's anything I know at this point, is that you cannot achieve anything great without, you know, really rolling in the mud. You know, sometimes it's and sometimes it gets worse before it gets better, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
But you'll come out of the other side of it shiny and chrome.
Yeah, you know that's the thing. Sometimes you can really eat that crap sandwich, and I always tell people, make sure you chew it really slow. Make sure you really remember the flavor, because you don't want to have another one. And but also out of that is this beautiful humility, this humbleness, not humiliated, humility. Being humble wins games, and it's not a entitlement. It's a I can do this and I will work toward it. Yeah. Yeah. So good. You and I, I'm sure, have a lot of overlaps, but so I in some of your words I hear it, and I'm guessing that, you know, and even future people that listen to this, they'll be like, oh yeah, I know exactly what they're talking about. Well, it doesn't take long to run over an hour, and here we are. And you know, it's so funny, like calling it a deep dive, and you're a diver. You know, this part twos, and I don't know. We might have to like do a revisit just to see what's going on. And
There's always something going on. I'll always be happy to come back and let you know.
all right,
Drop the T. Drop the T. Are we calling it that?
yeah, sure, we'll call it that. Yeah, we'll call it that. I just got to say it was an absolute pleasure, and please keep up to date and drop some stuff in here, like a link to the latest, because I also want to cross pollinate that through all the channels. I mean, we're here to help each other win any way that we can. And you know, and also, you have anybody that you think would enjoy what we're doing, never be shy of just letting them know, because I'll give you a family pass to share with them, and they can come in and check it out.
Awesome. Awesome.
You never know.
Well, thank you very much. And thank you for creating this amazing community. And I'll come back anytime you want me. I'm always happy to share what's going on over here in Sarasota, Florida.
Okay.
Yeah, I really enjoyed talking to you. I really enjoyed the interview. So thank you so much.
Yeah. And you know, I'm a host. You know, I built this, but we make it what it is. I can't do that by myself. It takes you two.
Awesome.
So just get used to it.
I will. I shall.
All right. Hey, listen, thank you so much, and cheers from Vermont. I'm just so grateful for you. So happy that you're just like blowing it up. And you deserve that. You deserve this win. And just keep winning.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. And I will keep blowing it up for as long as people will let me keep blowing it up.
I'm here with my cowbell and pom-poms. I'm cheering you on. All right. Well, this one's in the books, and I wish you a great night, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye.